But let's get Dipan Mehta in and Siddharth Bhamre of Angel Broking as well to give us some cues to watch out for. Dipan, in fact, is here with us in the studio before his routine visit to Siddhi Vinayak every week. So, Dipan, hi, good morning. Well, it's been good cues. God is kind so far for the market. But yesterday we saw, some key pockets crack quite a bit, and infrastructure was on top of that list. Would you start to now get cautious as this market, starts to differentiate between quality and momentum?
No, I don't think so. I think that what we saw was maybe some basket-based selling taking place, or for that matter, technical correction underway. And nothing really has changed. In fact, if you see the way the events have unfolded, one should get even more positive. Okay. I think clearly the power of 272 plus is playing out. It was shown in the manner in which he invited all the SAARC nation heads to come despite opposition. And in the ministry formation itself, he's got a complete free hand. And I think the way it is going, hopes are building at least within us that maybe you could have a flow of reforms taking place over the next 100 days or so. And that could keep the market extremely interested. And I was just thinking after this cabinet announcement that could it be a 91, 92 kind of a scenario where we had a massive liberalization process in 91. By 92 the market was at a phenomenal new high. So it's a probable event. I'm not saying it will happen for sure, but I think clearly this is one government which is on the move, and its effect will be felt in the immediate short term.
Okay, so would you want to make some distinction between the various power stocks that rose and fell over the past 8 weeks? I mean, whether it's the JP Group, Tata Power, BHEL, NTPC, just about everything have seen roller coasters in their own ranges. What are your picks now that they seem to have fallen?
See, the beauty of this market is that you can spin a story around every sector. You've never been great fans of power utility companies, but no doubt the manner in which they've underperformed, there is some kind of a one-time correction taking place over there. The best way to play power is through the equipment suppliers, the likes of BHEL, maybe a Thermax, L&T. I think power capacity is poised to increase, and focus over there has to be in transmission and distribution. So the transmission tower companies or the transformer companies, I think all those should do pretty well. But with usual disclosure, the best stock in power to buy, I think, is PTC. So,
okay.
That's one company which will see its volume surge. Yeah, that's right, to see its volume surge. And it could be major beneficiary from reforms in the power sector. And the best part is that with the health of the entire the SEBs improving, some of the risks as far as PTC is concerned, as far as the collections will be taken care of, and they'll be able to utilize their capacities and balance sheet far better.
Okay, so you would at this point in time not worry about the volatility that this market is seeing, and still tell investors who have who have not positioned themselves fully to still go out there and buy, right?
Absolutely. I think unequivocally this is the best time to get into the market. Better to get in now than when the index is at 8,000 or beyond, which will happen eventually. So I would really make a fantastic case for retail investors to come to the market, because every time they come in at the higher levels, they buy the wrong stocks, and then they are out of the Indian market for 3-4 years. So at least the mistakes of the previous bull markets should not be repeated.
Fair point.
We're just going to get the cabinet portfolios, very shortly, the official announcement. But we do understand that Arun Jaitley could be, so to say, the eyes and ears of Narendra Modi. How would he do as a finance minister? What would your view be?
See, I'm no political expert, and I don't have much of a...
No, from a market man's point of view.
The market is banking on Narendra Modi. So whoever his finance minister is will speak the words of Narendra Modi and the actions of Narendra Modi. So I think we are fine with Mr. Jaitley as the finance minister. At least he's very articulate, and he has an open mind, and that I think is positive. So he'll be open to suggestions made by the industry, by the financial circle, by the stock market. So I think it's a positive development.
To come to specific stocks, Dipan, how would you play the realty stocks? Any of them over there in yesterday's fall look attractive to you?
See, again, as a sector, we tend to avoid reality because we don't like the dynamics of the industry. And as I've always said, it's better to buy real estate than to buy the reality companies that
Right.
give a higher
Okay,
return.
then let me go to banks. I mean, I'm going to all the sectors that fell yesterday. Of the lot, you spoke about power. If not realty, then in the banks, in the big
We've
fall
been-
yesterday,
that's
anything
right.
that you like?
We've been very positive on the banks, and per se, a lot has been spoken and analyzed about the private sector and PSU and private sector versus PSU. But in our opinion, the best way to play the banks is through the NBFCs. And there are three baskets: the auto financiers, the housing finance companies, and the infrastructure finance companies. And there's one microfinance company. So our top pick within that sector is SKS Micro, usual disclosure. We like the business a lot. And I think what has gone unnoticed is the only bank license is to be given was to a microfinance company, which means that the regulator also is smiling upon that particular business model, which could mean very, very important for SKS Micro. So we like that company per se. And although it's expensive, I think its growth will be phenomenal over the next 4 or 5 years or so. So it's a good long-term pick. And then, there are the other large NBFCs, the likes of M&M Finance, Bajaj Finance, Shriram Transport. All these should do exceedingly well, and the housing companies like LIC Housing as well. I think where NBFCs score over the banks is their high return on equity and the scalability of their model, and the fact that even through the most trying times within the banking industry, they've performed pretty well.
Okay. Would you buy either of these names, IVRCL or IRB Infra, which are both up 70 to 80% this month?
See, I think the problem with such companies and the infrastructure and the other construction companies is that there is no sort of, profitability to support valuations as of now. Their order books also are not growing per se.
So what would you buy then?
Therefore, I think the best way to play the sector is to, on the safer side, which is to buy the large cap ones, likes of maybe L&T or BHEL, and then, as I said, work to the engineering companies like maybe a Thermax or a Cummins, or for that matter, VA Tech. So I think that's the better way. Some sectors you can be aggressive, some sectors you need to be a little safe, and then you can get more aggressive and more, selective once you know how each company is managing this new environment they are in.
Final question then. Today we have companies like Bharat Forge that will be reporting their numbers, and in general the auto ancillary space has delivered some superb performances. Anything in that space that you like?
Yeah, I think the auto ancillary companies have undergone transformation, and the ones which have got export focus have done exceedingly well. So we are positive on Bharat Forge. But the best pick has to be Motherson Sumi. I think the results have blown the street expectations, and the manner in which it is scaling up, and the order book position.
You would still hold on to Motherson Sumi?
Absolutely. Even how I hold. Disclosure, again, we've spoken about a lot of stocks, so I just need to keep on making disclosure from time to time.
To be fair, Mr. Tulsian, Sudarshan, everybody have been supporting that stock. It's as good as motherhood, I think, for stock pickers, but still good.
Yeah, still good. And if you want to take a little bit of a risky bet, then even the like of Amtech Auto looks interesting.
Okay.
And they are also managing the business and balance sheet far better than what they have done in the past. And they should benefit from the boom which is taking place in the auto industry globally, and what will happen in India as well soon.
Okay.
All right. Dipan, thank you for joining us.